Welcome to Championship Wrestling 85. I'm Gordon Sola, your host. With me are Sweet Brown Sugar and Buddy Colt. We'll be talking more to them in just a couple of moments. Right now, though, we do have a match in progress in the ring. Scott McGhee moving out against Rocky King. One fall with a 10-minute time limit, and this match well underway. It's Scott McGhee in the black trunks. Rocky King squaring off. King caught with a good hip toss by Scott McGhee. Scott McGhee with a good low center of gravity, buddy, and he is a dangerous adversary.
Well, he certainly is. Of course, Scott McGhee is a former Florida heavyweight wrestling champion, so this is a very good test for Rocky King. Rocky King has been holding his own quite well with Scott McGhee. You see right here, the easy way to break out of this hold is put a leg on the ropes, which calls for a just a break there. Has to get up and back, start back over. They're circling each other, having a lot of respect for one another. Very good break on the, or block on the part of Rocky King, but all to no avail.
Back leg trip by Scott McGhee takes King back to the canvas. As I said, of course, Sweet Brown Sugar is with us. Sugar, this man King looks like he's got a lot of promise.
Gordon, I would like to take the time out now to say a special hello to all the friends in Florida and all my friends in Nassau. You're right, Rocky King has definite potential. You know, Gordon, I've been in Florida a long time. I've seen a lot of wrestlers come and go, especially young ones. Rocky King has the disadvantage in terms of experience, and Scott McGhee, a very fine wrestler coming from a wrestling family. But in time, I do see some promise in Rocky. Maybe as the match goes along, I can see even more promise, and the people will too.
Side headlock now by Scott McGhee as he has King down to the canvas, and referee Bill Alfonso checking those shoulders regularly. King managing to keep that right shoulder off. As long as he does, he stays in a predicament, but he is not. He could be pinned here. No, sir. Got the shoulder off once again.
Well, you notice how Scott McGhee right there has his full body weight on the upper torso of Rocky King. All that weight just forces Rocky King to have to breathe harder, use up that valuable energy. See right here, there's a ride with Scott McGhee on top of him. Once again, keeping that weight there. Trying for a quarter Nelson here, trying to roll him over, turn him over. He's got to get him on his back for a pinfall. Rocky King just fighting. Well, there's the shoulders down momentarily, but not quite enough for a pin. Coming back up in a front face lock. Rocky King forcing him back into the ropes, which calls for a break.
And it is indeed a good clean break. Rocky King backing away. King has excellent muscular definition and confirmation. And I would think Scott McGhee caught him with a good shoulder smash coming off the ropes. Hip toss by King. And that's the one thing that Scott McGhee's going to have to watch for is overconfidence.
That's what Rocky King needs to really look for, is to be a speed demon. And that's the only way to overcome a guy like Scott, but you can see he just got him, Gordon.
Hooked him and pinned him very, very nicely. And so the victory in this first match goes to Scott McGhee, and a good display of sportsmanship there by both Scott McGhee and Rocky King. Well, buddy, a lot of action upcoming, including tonight.
That's right. Tonight in Sarasota, and Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion, will be there defending his title. Now, tomorrow, there is a Super Bowl spectacular in Orlando, starting at 2 o'clock. That's right, at 2 o'clock in Orlando at the Eddie Graham Sports Palace. That way, you can go to the wrestling matches, see your favorite wrestlers in action, and still be back home in time for the Super Bowl. Also, this coming week, there's matches in Ocala, also Fort Pierce. And one other thing, Gordon, I'd like to remind some of the wrestling fans that had a hard time getting your book that is now on sale at all bookstores throughout Florida, and it's quite an interesting book.
Well, thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, anybody who does want a copy of that, it's available to bookstores. They don't have it. It can be ordered through Dodd Mead, and, of course, we'll have it at some of the selected arenas around the state, too. Sweet Brown Sugar has joined us, and Sugar, as we said a moment ago, I think this young fellow, Rocky King, shows great promise.
I think he shows a hell of a lot of promise, Gordon. I think he's courageous. Of course, Scott, he was giving up a lot of disadvantages in terms of experience, and experience is the #1 thing in professional wrestling. But I guarantee you, one day, somewhere down the road, if you're not careful, you could see a shade of Sweet Brown Sugar come out in a guy like Rocky King.
All right, fair warning by Sweet Brown Sugar. I'd say also we're going to be seeing the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in action today in a match a little bit later on in the program. Also, of course, we will be talking to the Boss Man. We'll also a special Take 5 with the fabulous Freebirds and a special interview with Terry Gordy. The boss man did arrive at Tampa International Airport not too terribly long ago, and we have a videotape of his arrival at the airport, not quite in the style, apparently, that the boss man is accustomed to. Let's go now, then, by videotape to Tampa International Airport and the arrival of the boss man.
He's got it all. What's the hairdo? Hey, dog, give me a cigarette, man. You got a cigarette on your man, you know? I left him at the house. Ain't that something? Oh, thanks. Oh, no. Hey, somebody got Mr. Wax out. Yeah. Boss man's gonna be back because that leak is gonna be shining up, man. We about to go in house down. When you talk about the boss, man, you talk about big cash, baby. He's gonna be coming here with the sun, baby. All you people out there get ready, because the boss man's on the train. I'm telling you, he's somewhere. Beverly Hills, baby. Beverly Hills, you know. We was just there last night. There ain't no secret. You know the boss man got so much money, he let us go in and everywhere that we want to go. Woo! Yeah! And I love it. You know, just working with it. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at the boss man. Boss man, what kind of plane is that? That ain't the right plane, man. That can't be the boss man. Rick Rude, all right. What's going on, Rick? What's up, Rick, baby? I never died. All right. How you doing, man? All right. What y'all doing riding that plane, man?
I was gonna ask you guys, boss man, we got some problems. Boss man is hot.
What?
Boss man's hot. What?
Hey, wait a minute. Let me out of this. Come on, boss man. Come on. What in the heck you doing in this plane? What happened to the little jet? Come here, boss man. Oh, no.
I want to know what's going on. I'm sick and tired. What did you do to my jet? You took the plane out, you took the jet out, and you didn't put the hours down. They took it to the shop with it.
Boss, you don't understand.
It's uncalled for. Mama don't like me arriving like this. This man here thinks he's Sky King or something.
Boss man.
Look at this thing.
Boss.
Look at this thing. Look at it.
Boss.
I'm not supposed to be riding the things like this. What do you think this is?
Boss, TV, baby. We got the cameras out here.
What the? This makes it all the work. That's it for you. Get in the limousine. You get in the limousine. That's it. No, sir. I ain't having none.
Calm down.
Sir. You get the camera. Cut the camera. The missing link.
Get out of here.
Keep in the plane. Keep him in the plane. Stay in the plane. Don't come out. You get the camera out of here. We'll be at the TV station in a few minutes, Gordon Soley. I know you're responsible for this, Gordon Soley. That's it.
Well, we'll be hearing more from the boss man a little bit later on. He is here and will be arriving here at the program at some later time, so be watching for that. And we'll be back with more action right after we pause for these words. Dutch Mantel with Shoe Baby getting set to go against the Red Raider. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. And wherever Mantel goes, Shoe Baby goes with him, that 10-foot bullwhip. And brother, he is most effective with it when he uses it. All right, square up, collar and elbow. Dutch Mantel getting a side headlock, going to a hip lock takedown. Keeps the side headlock on the Red Raider. Off the ropes, Mantel catches some good shoulder smash coming off. Mantel moves inside, hip lock, and an arm drag hip lock takedown. Off the ropes once again, Mantel with another shoulder smash. Mantel has been steadily out front since the very onset of this match, buddy.
Well, you know, one thing that really makes Dutch Mantel such a dangerous adversary in the ring is that he has such an uncanny knowledge of wrestling. You can look at his wrestling ability, always right there with every move. But then if his opponent wants to start using the cheap underhanded tricks, I don't think there's a street fighter around that is any better with the brawling tactics than Dutch Mantel. This man is just double tough, double mean. He will go any style you want. Right here you see him really hanging on to that side headlock, just wearing down the Red Raider. That could have been a mistake on the part of the Red Raider. If he wants to go to Fifth City, Dutch is right there with him.
No question about that. Mantel Overhooks, goes into a vertical suplex, has the Red Raider back to the canvas once again. Mantel off the ropes, down across the chest muscles, and Mantel gets the 3 count. Dutch Mantel gets the 3 count on the Red Raider in short order. Goes over to the corner now to collect his hat and shoe baby. I want to, if I can, for just a moment, talk to the former Florida heavyweight champion, Jesse Barr. And he has joined us here at the desk. Mr. Barr,
Yeah, you know, Gordon, I have a few things to say. Since Jesse Barr came to the state of Florida, I've taken over everything, you know? I became the Florida heavyweight champion, and now the whole Florida state wrestlers, promoters, and everything are trying to keep my belt from me, you know? Everybody's been coming down here in teams or in dynasties, and everybody's got somebody else. You know, Jesse Barr's got friends too, you know. You know, I got Ric Flair, that's one of my greatest friends, but he can't be here all the time because he has to defend his world title all over the world. But let me tell you about a man here that has asked me to help him come in here because there's somebody that he wants. And I'll show you this man. Do you know this man here? Wild Bill Irwin.
I do indeed. You might want to show the people.
Good associate of myself. Take a good look at this man right here. You see this? He said he wants to settle an old score with Dutch Mantel. Dutch Mantel calls himself the master of the bullwhip. Well, this guy here is the king. Let me tell you that. And when he comes out here with his bullwhip, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to kick that Dutch Mantel's butt all over the state of Florida.
Well, just a second.
Hey, I heard you, buddy. You mentioned my name. You talking about me? I figured you're talking about me, Barr. You talk to my face, don't talk behind my face.
See this right here?
Yeah, I see it. What
I'm
about
just
it, huh?
giving you fair warning.
Get out of my face, Barr.
Uh-oh, gentlemen, out here at the desk,
You come out
please.
here talking to me, buddy.
I'm just giving you fair
Well,
warning.
you give me fair one. I don't need none of your lip.
Your days are numbered.
Yeah, okay, my day's numbered. Okay. I got fair warning, Barr. That's all I need, buddy. And I'll handle you later, Barr. Who's this guy looking for me? Wild Bill Irwin. Well, that's fine with me, baby. Because I like people to look for me because I am not hard to find, Jack.
Well, that is a natural fact. He is not hard to find, and when and if Mr. Irwin decides to come here, Dutch Mantel will be waiting for him, that's for sure. We'll be right back.
Waiting for the arrival of 2 of the Freebirds, Michael Hayes and his brother, Buddy Roberts. And then coming very soon, we're going to have their partner, the other Freebird, Bam Bam Gordy Terry will be here. Well, here comes the ostentatious Michael Hayes and his partner, Buddy Roberts. Very good to have you here. We were just mentioning that your other brother.
That's
Gordy,
right. You know, we're real excited about it, buddy. There's a whole lot of things going on, and a whole lot of things are going to come to an end. And basically what we're talking about is them Russians. You know, they've been busting on my head a little bit. That's okay. It ain't the first time it happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last. But there is one thing I'm pretty sure is going to be the last. I believe they've just about had their last time around here. Because you know what's coming up, buddy. There's a cage match coming up. And in that cage match, it ain't bragging, it's a fact. We're the baddest when it comes down. And it's going to come down on you. And once one of them loses, they're going to be out of here. And it doesn't matter to me where it happens, baby.
We'll have to agree with you there. Cage matches are very dangerous. As always, someone has to get hurt in a cage match. There is no running, no hiding.
Well, let me tell you what, the reason I came here is to get Russians and send them out of the state of Florida, and we got Bam Bam coming. Hey, it's going to be Bam Bam, and I'll tell you what, we're going to be finished with these Russians once they get in the cage. Hey, that's our type of match. Hey, we're Bad Street, right?
Hey, if anybody don't know who Terry Gordy is, he's 285 pounds of walking, talking, romping, stomping graveyard destruction. And he's going to be standing right with us, 720 pounds of the fabulous Freebirds, and talking about tomorrow afternoon, buddy, 2 p.m. Super Bowl Spectacular right there in Orlando. The Freebirds are going everywhere. We're going to be in Ocala. We're going to be in Melbourne, and we're going to be whooping some heads anywhere we go. You can bet on that.
Well, I understand you'll also be in Miami on the 30th.
That's right. We're going to be in Miami on the 30th, and we got a special friend's going to be there. J.J. French from Twisted Sister, the big rock group with the hit We're Not Gonna Take It, and I Want to Rock, and I do rock and roll all day long. But J.J. French is going to be there in Miami on the 30th. I also understand that Hacksaw Butch Reed is going to be down there, so you know it's going to be a big thing, man.
Very well, I'd like to thank you both very much. We also have a very special
Yeah,
VTR
Bam Bam had
film.
something he wanted to say to the people, and I'm sure everybody wants to hear what he's got to say. But people, rest assured of this, we're going to say goodbye to them Russians.
Well, let's go to this special VTR film with Bam Bam Gordy.
I can't wait to get to FLA. Everybody's been asking where Bam Bam's at. Well, Bam Bam's on his way. And I'm on my way to take care of a little business, and it don't matter where it's at. It don't matter if it's in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm sure there's going to be pandemonium there. It don't matter if it's in Miami, Florida. I'm sure when I get there, I'm sure my brothers are already causing a lot of pandemonium, but there's going to be a lot more when I get there. It don't matter. Hey, it don't matter if it's out in the Okefenokee swamps. I don't mind taking somebody out there in a boat and tying a rock to them and throwing them overboard. If that's what they want to do, if that's the way they want to take care of business there, then we can take care of business. Just it don't matter where it's at. Marc Lawrence, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, anywhere in Florida. The Freebirds are going to be taking care of some business, and Bad Street's going to be there. And I'm sure everybody knows the story about Bad Street. Man, we was born on Bad Street. We was brought up fighting right there on Bad Street, and we was the baddest people on the street because, man, we lived in the last house on the right. Just like it says in the song, I'd like to say hello to my brothers, Buddy and Mike. I'm looking forward to being there.
All right, this match, one fall, 10-minute time limit now. It'll be Mark and Jay Youngblood, the U.S. Tag Team Champions, going out against Paul Garner and Randy Barber. That's Garner going to the outside now, and it'll be Randy Barber moving out first against Mark Youngblood. One fall, 10-minute time limit. The Florida heavyweight champion, Mr. B, Brian Blair, has joined us, and I know, of course, that you're particularly impressed with the Youngbloods.
I sure am, Gord. You know, they took those belts right from the Russians, just like they said they were going to do. And, you know, when Mark and Jay get out there, there's always a lot of action. They're brothers, and like they say, blood's thicker than water. What a tremendous chop. I heard that chop all the way here, Gord. You know, a lot of people use forearms, a lot of people use fists, and you got to use what you're best at. And I'll tell you what, these two guys have got chops, and I was looking at Mike Golden the other day, and he's got bruises all over his chest, all over his, just welts like I've never seen before from Mark and Jay Youngblood's chops. Tremendous shoulder smash. These guys are perpetual motion. Excellent suplex.
Jay Youngblood now with a side headlock, gets over, makes the tag with Mark Youngblood, and so Mark moves into the ring, and as Barber tried to set up Jay Youngblood, he found himself caught by Mark Youngblood. Mark coming off the ropes, down across the face of Randy Barber. And Garner started to move into the ring out of camera range, but was blocked by referee Bill Alfonso. Alfonso back in, checking those shoulders. And as Brian said a moment ago, buddy, the Youngbloods are indeed perpetual motion.
Well, they are certainly wrestling champions. Since becoming the United States Tag Team Champions for the National Wrestling Alliance, these men have been fighting champions. They have been taking on all top contenders. Well, look at this move here. Going up for a flying head scissor with a side headlock on one man, both men down. This speaks for itself. The caliber of wrestlers you're seeing with these United States Heavyweight Tag Team Champions here. Just like he said, perpetual motion, always on the move, never giving his opponent a chance to get the upper hand. Going into his war dance now, and this man is an exciting wrestler to watch.
No question about that. Garner off the ropes. Garner caught with a lariat. And again, the tag is made. Mark Youngblood moving in down across the body of Paul Garner. Jay Youngblood cuts him off at the pass. And so, a well-deserved, well-fought victory by Mark and Jay Youngblood. Would like to mention, too, that Brian Blair, of course, Mr. B, is working very closely with the Tampa Police Athletic League, the PAL, in coaching their wrestling team. And I understand now from Corporal Larry Seigal of the Tampa Police Department that PALs around the state are beginning to form wrestling teams, and apparently there's going to be a statewide tournament upcoming in the near future, and I certainly want to thank Brian personally for his...
Gentlemen, rise here.
Well, the boss man has finally
I
arrived.
want to be a gentleman. Percy Pringle.
Buddy Colt.
Well, the boss man is
Master
here.
of the ring, huh? The master of the ring? Well, I want all my dynasty to get together. This is the Pringle dynasty. Mr. Rick Rude, the missing link, the pretty young things. This is the Pringle dynasty. This is the man that I've searched all over the world to get together. The best group of wrestlers in the world today are right here. The Pringle family has brought them in. Now, everything didn't go right. My arrival at the airport didn't go right, and a few other things hasn't gone right. But starting now, everything's going right, Mr. Gordon Soley. Everything's going right. If you are a champion, if you have a belt, you better watch out. Your days are numbered because your belts are going to be taken away. These are the new champions. These are the wrestlers of 1985. These are the champions of Florida. The missing link, Rick Rude, the pretty young things, the Pringle dynasty with my mother, my precious mother behind us all with her money and her wealth, and with our management, we're going to the top. Now, I want y'all to take the missing link back to the dressing room, get his tights on. Get his boots on, because we fixing to show you people what the missing link can do and what my other men can do. Y'all go get his boot. Go get him ready, because we're going to have a match here. We're going to have a match today. Oh, shut up! What do you mean?
Well, we have the world champion Ric Flair, we got the Southern champion, Pez Whatley, we've got the Hollywood Clowns wrestling, but we don't have
That's the third time! What is wrong with this place around here? I just can't understand it. I brought my men in here to wrestle, and they're going to wrestle. I guarantee you, one of my men is going to wrestle today. I want to go back there and talk to the promoter, but you're going to see the Pringle dynasty, and you're going to see it today. Today!
We'll find out about that, but they certainly aren't scheduled to be competing here today. We were expecting his arrival. He has arrived, that's for sure, and that missing link is something else. But, well, I'll tell you what, we'll be back, and we'll see what happens later on.
Right, we have a match in the ring waiting for
Okay, we're waiting now for the arrival of the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. Flair will be competing, one fall, 10-minute time limit, a rare opportunity to see this man in action in a non-title event, and it is Ric Flair.
I always like... I've always been considered the most fashionable athlete in the world today. So because I'm the world champion, and because I'm standing here with one of the greatest wrestlers alive today, Mr. Jesse Barr, I thought that I'd do something a little special for all the wrestling fans in the state of Florida, and that's wrestle on your program today. Now I feel sorry for this young gentleman because today I really feel like making an example of somebody. Gordon, you're looking as classy as ever, brother.
Well, thank you so very much. Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, going toward the ring at this time. This match is, of course, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, and Flair, resplendent with the very, very costly robes that he wears to the ring.
Doesn't Ric Flair show class in everything he does? Have you ever seen a person with more class than Ric Flair?
That's the voice of Jesse Barr, of course, a former Florida heavyweight champion and a close personal friend of Mr. Flair's. Flair removing that robe, and of course you can, you'll be able to get a...
You know, Gordon, they used to call me the greatest, and now they're redefining the word. Because
you just how great can one athlete be, huh?
I don't know if they could hear the... There's the $10,000 gold and diamond encrusted NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt.
There's the trophy that every man in professional wrestling dreams of having, but only few of us will be able to acquire it.
You see, us is a rather all-inclusive phrase, Mr. Barr. Hip lock takedown, a quick head scissors by Jack Hart, but Flair breaks it, and Hart again goes for the head scissors. Flair away from it once again.
Look at the speed of the world champion here. Look at the speed, the fantastic speed of Ric Flair.
A good drop toe hold by Ric Flair, and he keeps the ride going as Hart tries to sit out and escape.
Right all day long.
Well, you know, it's very easy to see why Ric Flair is the world's heavyweight champion. He's always in control. Right here, Jack Hart was able to pull a reversal and come up with a hammerlock. But I would say, well, knowing Ric Flair, this won't be for long. Ric Flair, of course, being the world's heavyweight champion, the NWA champion, recognized throughout the world, the largest and oldest governing body of
Did you see that?
in the world.
He accused Ric Flair of pulling his hair. Now that everybody knows that he didn't pull his hair.
Well, the champion...
That's quite an accusation to say that the world champion would pull your hair.
Well, Mr. Barr, there have been allegations made at knee driven to the midsection of Hart and a chop in the throat. Puts Hart back to the canvas, and Flair very much in control of the situation at this point in time.
Look at every move that he does is counted out for. He makes no unnecessary moves. Every move he makes means something to the match.
Series of forearms, and Flair somewhat upset with the referee.
Perfectly legal.
Hip toss by the world champion Ric Flair. And Hart fires to the midsection.
Look at that other guy throw a fist.
Flair now with a front chancery on Jack Hart, has him back to the canvas. Now underhooks the arm and hooks the far leg. Reverse Nelson, and let's see if he's going to try and exact a pinfall.
Cradle.
Hart able to slip away from it.
Not completely away.
See Ric Flair just putting that pressure on this front chancery. This takes a lot out of the body. That's really twisting that neck, putting a big crimp in that breathing.
Back to the side headlock. Hart fires him off. Flair catches him a good shoulder smash coming off the ropes. It's Flair charging in, caught with a high hip toss by Jack Hart. Hart goes in for a beautiful drop kick, and Flair hit the canvas, and Flair.
Hey.
And so Mr. Hart suddenly caught by Flair as he charged in, just a bit recklessly perhaps.
Oh, did you see Dutch Mantel get all hot and worried when I talked about somebody that is much better than him coming in here as my friend with a bullwhip? Huh? He looked awful nervous to me. But he's going to have to pay for putting his hands on my face like he did.
Jack Hart back to the canvas once again, and Flair very definitely in control of the situation here now.
Punish him a little more, Rick. Punish him a little more. Teach him.
And it's Hart with a forearm to the side of the jaw, but Flair retaliates. Hart retaliates, and Flair now firing to the midsection, a chop into the throat, another chop, and another. And Hart has got to be rocking and reeling here.
See, all done completely legal.
High vertical suplex by the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
That's it. He says, now we go to school. Now he's going to teach him exactly what wrestling is all about.
And it's Flair to the spinning toe hold, from the spinning toe hold into the Eddie Graham figure 4 leg lock.
He better give that up pretty quick before his leg is completely broken. That's it. Punish him, Rick.
That was a submission hold. The figure 4 leg lock submitted by Ric
Have you
Flair.
ever seen a tremendous athlete like Ric Flair work so good in a match? And that guy did absolutely not one counter against him. He had complete control of that match.
That's
and then
why.
had to teach him his little lesson.
Woo! Guys like myself and the great Jesse Barr always rise above all the rest. Because above anything else in the world today, we are men. Men know how to compete at a championship level. Woo! And we don't do bad with the ladies either, right, Big Jess?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Daddy.
All right, I think that's enough, and we'll be back in just a moment. It's time now for our Missing Children's Bulletin. This week, we have two 17-year-olds that we're concerned about. This is Ritza Yoconda Romero. It's time now for our Missing Children's Bulletin. This week, we have two 17-year-olds that we're concerned about. This is Ritza Yoconda Romero. 8522. Our second missing person is Michael Francis Rosenberg. He is also 17. He is 6 feet tall, weighs 145 pounds. He was last seen September 13th, 1984, in Merritt Island, Florida. He may be driving a 1972 brown Chevrolet. Anyone having any information, please contact 1-800-342-0821. Now let's go to the ring. Pistol Pez Whatley, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, getting set to move out against Mike Golden. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Waiting now for the bell. There's the bell. I might mention that Billy DeMoya of the Rockefellers out of Fort Lauderdale sent us an interesting card saying that they were hoping that 85 would be the year for Brian Blair, and it is indeed so far, because Brian Blair, of course, does have the Florida Heavyweight Championship. Good move by Pistol Pez Whatley, the Southern Heavyweight Champion. A full body slam back into a side headlock. Whatley, hip lock takedown on Mike Golden. One fall, 10-minute time limit.
Well, this Pistol Pez Whatley is grinding in with his side headlock. I'm sure that he is not underestimating the ability of Mike Golden. Mike Golden's been around for some time. You can look at the physical development of this man. He's quite impressive. Right now it's going to be up to Mike Golden to come out, and well, he looks like he forced him into the ropes. Down goes Mike Golden. And Pistol Pez Whatley looks like he's going back to that side headlock takedown. And once again, laying there with the upper weight of his body across the chest of Mike Golden. Mike Golden rolling him over, trying for a pin, but not yet, not yet. Right now, Pistol Pez Whatley is still at 100%.
Certainly no question about that. Whatley, as we've said before, out of the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. And, well, I see that Mr. Rick Rude and the boss man have arrived on the scene.
I've been listening to what you people had to talk about, and it sounds like it's real boring stuff. Gordon, we've run into each other before, haven't we? Why don't you tell these people about something they might want to hear about? Why don't you tell them about the world professional arm wrestling champion? Why don't you tell them about some of my accomplishments? And why don't, Gordon, I'm going to give these people a treat right now. I'm going to let them take a look at a real athlete. I'm going to let them see what's going on the west side.
Well, indeed, Mr. Rick Rude.
Tell them, boss man.
Well, the boss man is here at...
Why is this pistol man out there wrestling him when he should be, if he's a champion and a true champion, how come he isn't wrestling one of my men? That's what I want to know.
Well, first of all, sir, these matches have to be signed, contracts have to be signed ahead of time. We can't wait till the last minute to...
Well, I've talked to the promoter, and I think we're going to get Missing Link on TV today, except he's going to be wrestling two men. I want to show these people just how tough this man is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want him to wrestle two men. He don't need to wrestle one man. One man, he don't even need to go to the ring to wrestle one man. Two men at least. And as far as I'm concerned, I've talked to the promoter, and everywhere he goes in the state of Florida, if it can be worked out, he's going to wrestle two men.
Wait a second, we've got something going on here. Pistol Pez Whatley moving outside the ring. And
What's all this?
well, I'll tell you what.
You and me can do our thing together. So, I just want you to know that right now. I want you to know that I want your brain.
This is uncalled for. If he's supposed to be a wrestler, he needs to be in the ring, not on the floor talking. My men don't do that.
Pistol Pez Whatley moving back in, and Mike Golden taking advantage of this. Golden exploding with a series of forearms across the back. And Pistol Pez Whatley could be in trouble. That could have been a dangerous mistake going outside the ring.
Well, their Pistol Pez Whatley was able to reverse that and come back with a big high back drop and a drop kick, and down goes Mike Golden. Pistol Pez Whatley was able to turn the tide on that very quickly.
Pistol Pez Whatley retaliating now on Mike Golden, and it is Golden catching an elbow across the top of the skull. Gut wrench salto.
Oh, he does know how to do one hold, don't he? He does know one hold. All I see him do is punch.
Words from Mr. Percy Pringle, and meanwhile, Mr.
You know,
Rick
the people
Rude.
are going to be surprised. The people of Florida are in for a big surprise because the time has come. The time has come for the dynasty to arrive. My mother's at the top. We're here with all the wrestlers, the best professional wrestlers in the world today. As you can see, my man Rick Rude walking around the ring. He can't even tie the shoelaces on any of my men. Look at that, look.
Beautiful area by,
Well.
he got the pinfall. He got the pinfall, so Pistol
Why
Pez
don't you wrestle
Whatley.
somebody? Why don't you
Southern
wrestle a
heavyweight
wrestler?
champion.
Why don't you get in the ring with one of my men? Not with no jabroni. Why don't you wrestle one of my men?
I'm gonna tell you what, boss man. It seems like you've been out here doing a whole lot of talking and not enough walking. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you figure that you or any of the men that you got under contract can whoop me, I will be out there in the middle of that ring waiting. I don't make up the schedule, the distinguished NWA does, and I'll meet any opponent that they got, including you. And I'll tell you what, baby.
I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler.
I'm gonna tell you what. If you do anything in the world, I want you to do this. Call your mama.
You better call your mammy, and you better tell your mammy to get your insurance paid up because you're gonna need some
Yeah,
insurance.
we'll be back.
This is
We'll
the man
be-
of the hour.
champion.
This is
We'll
the
be
man
back.
of the hour.
We'll be back in just a
The
moment.
man of the hour. Percy Pringle. You know, the people are gonna be surprised. The people of Florida are in for a big.
He got the pinfall. He got the pinfall. So Pistol Pez Whatley. Waiting now for the arrival of the Hollywood Blondes, and they'll be going up against Tony D'Amato and Mr. Warner. Paul Warner and Tony D'Amato. And wait a second.
There'll be no Hollywood Blondes. There'll be no Hollywood Blondes because I just paid them off. I just gave them a pretty penny, and they're going to the airport. I told you I was going to have one of my men here today, and I want you to watch, take note, because the time has come. The Pringles and the Dynasty are in Florida.
Well, apparently it is indeed going to be the missing link. And so the missing link moving into the ring. And apparently taking on two men then, because nobody is with Pringle except the missing link.
Well, let me tell you something, Gordon. I've been around professional wrestling over 20 years. I've traveled around the world. I have never seen a more awesome-looking individual than the missing link. This man looks like he has muscle piled on top of muscle. There's not an ounce of body fat on him.
Warner and D'Amato charged in, and the missing link dispatched them in quick order. And D'Amato now being smashed into that fire turnbuckle. And
We searched all over the world. My computer bank are full of information of wrestlers all over the world, and this man right here has came out on top. In every survey we've made, this man is on top. You're going to see things from this man, Gord, that you've never seen from any professional wrestler that's ever entered this ring. So I want you to watch, take note, because we're going all over Florida starting today.
well, fair warning from the boss man, Percy Pringle, and his D'Amato hurdled outside the ring. And
coming back in the ring with a chair now. Well, he's using it on himself, not even his opponent.
Smashed the chair and then headbutted Mr. Warner, drove him to the canvas. And, well, I'll tell you, he's a weird, strange, but as his buddy said, an awesome individual.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm impressed. This man is tough and rugged. It doesn't look like anybody will be able to hurt this man.
Count of 3, it is all over. D'Amato outside the ring. And I don't know about this man Pringle. I really don't.
Well, it seems like Percy Pringle has a lot to say, but apparently his men can back up what he says.
Well, that was certainly proven to be a fact just now as the missing link demolished 2 individuals in short order in a special handy.
This is only a sample, a little taste of what's to come.
Well, I just hope they're able to keep this man under control because he appears to be indeed a dangerous adversary and strange, I think, is the best word I can put for it.
When he just walked by the desk, I noticed that he had lacerated his own forehead, beating himself in the head with a chair, and it didn't faze him. Seemed like he liked this. How do you stop a man like this?
I don't know. He apparently is impervious to pain, and here you see him as he's was beating his head and then suddenly used his head as a battering ram, catching Warner, dropping him to the canvas, and you see once again as he continues to beat himself on the head with that chair, but it has little or no effect upon him whatsoever. In fact, the chair is getting the worst of that one. As you can see, it split in half, and so the missing link in a special handicap match. And of course, you heard the boss man say that the missing link will be wrestling 2 opponents no matter where he goes, and that's a most interesting observation. Overconfident, I think.
Well, you know, normally in a handicap match, one man's going to be on the apron. He took both of these men on head on, and he didn't even break a sweat. This man is very dangerous.
He is indeed, and so the boss man has made his presence felt in a hurry with a pretty young thing and Rick Rude and the missing link. Don't forget the return of Wild Bill Irwin in the near future, and until next week, speaking on behalf of Buddy Colt, this will be Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State. And Percy Pringle and his D'Amato hurdled outside the ring.